Just before I start the video, I want to thank everybody for being here throughout the year and everybody that's commented. I'm sorry that I've not been replying to almost any comments for the whole of December. It's just how things have gone down on my end. Absolutely promise you that I will get back to replying to as many comments as what I used to do before this month. It's just the way that it's gone down, and let's hope that it's a good 2025. It appears that it's going to be. I'll get into that into a different video in a different playlist. But this one here is just to finish the year off. We're just looking at one specific site and one specific area that might cover about 40 feet. Okay, that's all we're looking at in this video. Now I do have to premise it because it is difficult. I'm guessing about 40% of you will be able to see what I'm pointing out here. Likely the new people will just think I'm pointing at nothing and looking at patterns here in the clouds here. But I can tell you that I've looked at it long enough. I've just edited this video and my mind has not changed at all. This is exactly what I see. And so you all know how I think much of this came about with volcanic ash during a flood event, likely the Great Flood. Pointing here out the patterns around these 2 or 3 sites here, just to premise the video. An artifact like this, I can't see that it is something that's been carved out of the ash. I think the ash itself has petrified the window frames. Whether or not it had glass in it, it seems to have done because it's extremely flat. So flooding ash, seems to petrify all this stuff. It's like looking at this here. The square markings above here is likely to be floor beams from a higher floor. There's nothing left of it now, it's just an imprint, yeah. But either way, this is the site anyway, and it's at Ollantaytambo in Peru. The area that we're looking at is over on the left. I've shown you these square-shaped holes, the indentations before, tried to explain that. It's just to the left of that and the shape overall of the site behind it and above it that we're looking at. I'll give you an example of something modern that points out that what we're looking at here, it seems to be that, and it's been covered over and all this stuff is just hardened around it. That's what I'm getting at. Firstly, if you look at what I'm pointing out, you can see the shape of it. It's very exact. I'll get to the square indentations, well, the reason for that later. And we're also looking right above there. Now, when you go close to this thing, there's what appear to be wooden beams, at least what used to be wooden beams, that are popped out of the wall, that's since turned into the same material as what you're looking at there. Almost as if there's some type of structure inside of it. It does seem to be wooden, because they do look like wooden beams, not metal girders or anything. I'm pointing out what that thing seems to be above anyway, and how it's built. There's also things sticking out of that wall, which I will show. Just want you to get the feel of this site and what I'm trying to point out here, because this one is difficult. I showed you this thing before. I'm not sure how big this is, but this is about the same type of thing. So these are the wooden beams here that's sticking out of the wall. You do see some kind of shape around it, like this used to be a room. That line does track all the way around it. It's not too important. It's just, what are these things here? Because I can tell you, if you were to knock one off, it is now the same material as the surrounding area. But yeah, the rest of it just looks like it's been packed in during some tsunami or something. Now, I do realise what I've just pointed out is very difficult for most people to even spot. At least taking some of the main points that I've just put out, put your own pieces together, because areas like this do argue against it. Now, the square imprints, I can argue that it's where the joints of the actual attic, the actual construction itself, the beamings, I don't know, maybe as the roof came off the walls, and it all got packed in and it collapsed, and you end up with imprints similar to what I'm showing here. I can explain it at least somewhere, or were the areas that I've just shown you done at some later period.